ain't shit for the dick. Lick for the dick. Give up my window seat for the dick. Fuck it, I eat meat for the dick. Fight Hurricane Maria for the dick. Ride a missile from Korea for the dick. Hey, let him call me a hoe for the dick. Baby daddy number 4 for the dick. Buck a bitch in the head for the dick. Hey, fuck woke, I'm dead for the dick. Suck it down to the bone for the dick. Hey, let him use my phone for the dick. Call it, Motorola for the dick. Hey, fuck Michael Blackson, Ebola for the dick. Hey, caught on tape.
Not smart for that pussy. Cheat on my wife, Kevin Hart for that pussy.
Woo!
I eat pork for that pussy.
Inshallah.
Skip court for that pussy.
Call
I bleach my skin for that pussy.
Black power.
Fuck a Siamese twins for that pussy. Salute the flag for that pussy. Fuck a bitch on a rag for that pussy.
Blood class.
Hey.
I kidnapped myself for that dick.
What?
Made my parents pay the ransom for that dick.
That's right.
I go to trial for that dick. I ain't no snitch, but motherfucker, it was him for that dick. Bury the block for that dick. Make Nicky Berry talk for that dick.
What?
I love my family, but man, Illuminati, which one of my cousin you want for that dick? Yeah.
I go hard for that dick.
Yup.
I drop my black card for that dick.
Drop that shit.
Scream on my mama for that dick. Yeah, like the old bombers for that dick.
Where y'all at?
I put my lips on that dick.
Word?
Fuck a girl's trip for that dick.
Fuck that shit.
Travel to Mars for that dick.
Woo.
Just dropped a few bars for that dick.
That was hard. You did that. You did that. Woo.
did.
Here I go. Right, my turn.
Okay.
I might start a war for the dick. Kim Jong make him sing for the dick.
Rocket Man?
Cancel HBO for the dick.
Don't you got a show?
Bitch, not no more for the dick. Hey, skip to my loo for the dick. Oh, you brought your friends. Guess it's choo choo for the dick.
That's a train.
I'll drop my phone for the dick. Did the screen truck? Fuck. Got a new phone for the dick.
I've done a lot for that dick. I got freaks for that dick. I used to crawl for that dick. He made me climb the walls for that dick. I played roles for that dick. I role played for that dick. Did a southern accent for that dick. My name is Shaquita, but you could just call me baby. Got cheeky for that dick. I like a serving of bangers and mashed potatoes. Extra hot. I went blonde for that dick. Then I cut the bomb for that dick. Then I went bald for that dick.
I eat some flour for that pussy. I bring a meat for that pussy. I go to sleep for that pussy. I feel threes for that pussy.
What you gonna do for that pussy?
What is I'm doing? Let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm fucking pee in that pussy. Fuck around and go to sleep in that pussy. Run off on the floor for that pussy. Take a with me nigga go for that pussy. 9 years old in that pussy. Fuck around and die for that pussy. Little Jade up in that pussy. Sneak in a fucking club for that pussy. Now what you gonna do for the pussy?
Peace. How y'all doing? This is ZaZa Ali. Today is Thursday, September 28th. I pray that this message reaches you in the best of health, spirit, and mind. Y'all had to excuse my hair. I washed it this morning, so it's a little frizzy, looking a little extra right now, but it's all good. Before I get into this, let me let y'all know that I'm going to be in Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow. I fly out in the morning for the All Black National Convention. Shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins. I will be doing a keynote tomorrow at 7 p.m. and then I'll be moderating a panel discussion on the state of Black women after that. So hopefully if you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, you will come through and holla at your girl. Also, I'll be in Houston, Texas next weekend. That's October the 7th and the 8th, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be speaking both days. And I'm going to put the flyer up for both of those. And then you can also go to any of my social media accounts. Facebook, ZaZa Ali. Also have Facebook, Black Matter, ZaZa Ali. Instagram, ZaZa_Ali78. And Twitter, ZaZa Ali_7. All right. Also, I want to send a special message of love and encouragement and positivity to all of the people in Puerto Rico. The situation there, the dire situation there is just heartbreaking, and I'm absolutely embarrassed and disgusted by the United States government's reaction and the world's reaction. It's not just the United States, it's the world's reaction. Like the fact that nobody from Africa to Europe to Asia to South America is able to get in there and do what needs to be done. I understand that there was Trump lifted that ban or law or whatever it is so that some of those supplies could start to get to the people. And that's a step in the right direction. But the situation out there is despicable and it's disgusting and I hate it. And obviously we know there's things going on all over the world. We know that people in Houston are still trying to pull it together and are suffering, and the media is not giving that any coverage. We know the situation in Florida. People are still cleaning up and trying to pull their lives back together from that. So sending a message of love and encouragement, and just stay encouraged and stay positive to all of those people in those areas. And I'm still going to be doing the video about weather warfare, and just to follow up to the other video, a lot of the questions that I got, a lot of the, sly little comments and whatnot, like I'm not a scientist, like I don't know, like I don't do my research before I open my mouth, like I didn't research this stuff before I wrote my book, and then also just kind of looking at the psychological war that is being portrayed at the same time. So I'm going to try to get that up today, be checking for that, and then I'll be in Louisville tomorrow, like I said. So with all of that being said, let me give a parental discretion. And I put the picture up in the beginning of the video prior to me showing those videos of Erykah Badu, Sanaya Lathan, etc. And then of the young brothers. Now, let me just say, for a couple of days now, I didn't even want to talk about this, because I understand how, the idea that when we give certain things too much attention, that it can have a negative impact, because now you're making it bigger than what it was originally, or you're feeding into a negative situation, which lends to the negative situation growing. I understand that. And also because I know that I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this. When I wrote about it on my Instagram and my Facebook page, some of the comments, I already know what energy comes with talking about this type of thing. And sometimes I just don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw the video of these young brothers and some of the other stuff that I've seen, including the video of those young girls, high school girls, young girls, they're not women, they girls, for that high school, I think it's Northwestern Miami, something like that. I just was like, man, this is crazy. Like, the situation with our young girls, Black girls in particular in America, is really, it should be a state of emergency type of energy that we are applying to this, because these young girls are lost. And it's funny because it's not just the young girls that are lost. There's a lot of grown ass women. Pause. Let me stop, because I wanted to say this before. The parental discretion, some of my language, as the language in the previous videos, some of my language is not going to be up to par with how I normally try to express myself in my videos. However, this situation kind of calls for me to get into the mud, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, to be able to tackle the situation in the right way that I feel. So I mean no disrespect. I know I have a lot of people that watch my videos with their children, and for the young brothers and sisters, I love y'all, and I mean no disrespect. I just gotta fight this fire with fire. So in looking at this situation with these videos and these young girls, and knowing what I know about the condition of our daughters, and then knowing what I experienced as a young girl growing up in the hood, it's important for me to bring some balance to this conversation, because the irony of a lot of the things that I see being said on social media is that, you know, it's cool to have fun. We need balance. It's cool to, you know, to stop being so serious. Somebody called me the fun police. You know, we need balance with so much stuff going on in the world. We need to be able to laugh and joke and, you know, whatever. Okay, so you're right. So allow me to be the balance in this equation, because the whole culture is in full effect, particularly with Black women. And this situation really just kind of like, let me say, you know, everybody that knows me, that follows what I speak about in my work, knows how much I love Erykah Badu. Like, you can look through my videos. I did a video defending Erykah Badu last year, which I got a lot of backlash from, because Erykah Badu got caught up in this whirlwind of controversy because she was talking to girls and talking about how they carry themselves and being mindful about how you carry yourself in the presence of men, because of the male-female anatomy and the male-female attraction. And all of the feminists and all of the people saying, you know, they were blaming her for men not being able to handle themselves. I mean, she just caught all kinds of flack behind this. And so, you know, I did the video talking about slut shaming and whatnot. It's in my history, and you can go back and watch that. So that's kind of even more that, as well as what I, you know, me being an avid fan of her music, me just loving her as a woman, as a Black woman, as a matriarch, as a doula, as a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the utmost respect for her. So when I first saw this video, I was like taken aback. And, you know, I respect Regina Hall, love Regina Hall, love Issa Rae. I love Issa Rae. I love Insecure. Sanaya Lathan also took me for a loop, because she's one of those sisters that, you know, you kind of hold in a different light. And I don't need people to write me and say, well, you know, she did this and she did that. I don't know all about her personal relationships. I just know the movies I've seen her in and the way that I see her conduct herself in public. I just always kind of held her in a classy kind of standard. So when I saw her video, I was just like, I was kind of confused, and it deranked her in my mind as far as my respect for her. Now, she doesn't care. She probably will never see this video. None of them has any concern about my opinion, but it is my opinion, and I am doing this on behalf of these young girls and these young women, and women in particular, who are trying to find a way to express themselves and to be seen in this world without having to compromise themselves or to show their ass. So I'm just going to say off top that I respect all of those women. They're all beautiful. And do I think that they intentionally put out videos in order to, you know, somehow derail Black children or any children or any youth? No, I don't. But I also think that, you know, it's important for us, celebrities and all, and, you know, I don't look at celebrities as any greater than any of us. I don't see them as being exempt from the same things that I'm exempt from a responsibility, especially if you have a public page. You have a very public profile. You got 5-6 million followers, and you know that you probably have 20,000, 30,000, or even 2,000, you know what I mean, 10-year-old followers or 15-year-old followers. You have a responsibility to the way that your voice and your platform impacts them. So I wanted to do this video to kind of bring some balance to this conversation. Like I said, I love those sisters. I appreciate them for being beautiful and intelligent Black women, but they just missed the ball on this one. And, you know, it's important when we talk about balance that for women who hear this kind of stuff and see this type of stuff, to be able to have a conversation about it without it being, you know, deranked into a conversation about hate. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime you bring up things or challenge societal norms or behavior that you feel like is not really justified or righteous, you get called a hater. That's you know what I'm saying? It's important for us as women. It's a lot of our daughters following these whack ass females on Instagram and music, and you know what I'm saying? They following these chicks, and the gravitational pull on them is so strong that we losing. I know what it was like for me to walk down the street. I grew up in Oakland, in my neighborhood, to be cute, and I wasn't even wearing mini skirts and boy shorts and push-up bras. I was a tomboy. You know what I'm saying? But as I came into my feminine side and, you know, 15, 16, 17 years old, like there's men in our communities, from the Arabs at the liquor store to the brothers on the block to just period, that are preying on our daughters. So I know what that feels like. I can't imagine being 17 years old going to high school in some stilettos and a mini skirt. These girls are doing that. We don't care about our children, though. We don't care about our daughters until they die. Then we want to go into the cases like Kanika Jenkins and pick apart every little piece of the conspiracy, and much love to her family. People have been asking me to talk about that case and please do a video on it. We want your input. No, I'm going to push back from that for a minute, because there's the controversy aspect. There's the, you know, whether her organs were human trafficked, whether the videos were edited. There's all of those factors. But then there's also the fact that she was in a room with Black boys and girls, for the most part, we're going to assume, knowing Chicago, and that she was potentially raped by her own brothers, and that her own sisters was there and didn't do anything about the shit. Now, I don't know all the facts about the case, and I may be missing some specifics, and if so, then I stand to be corrected. But this case, prior to her death, if she hadn't died, if she had just been raped in that room, or like many other girls who get raped every single day in the hood, who get trains ran on them every single day in the hood. It was going on when I was growing up, and it's going on now. And, you know, we don't care about our youth until they end up dead. Then we want to turn into Inspector Gadget. And that's not particular to the Kanika Jenkins case, because we should be combing through that with a fine-tooth comb. Everybody who's making videos and Instagram posts, and do it. Do it to the 10th degree. And my heart goes out to her mother and to her family. But what I'm saying is, beyond her case, this is pivoting to our youth in general. We have a culture that does not do what is necessary to raise up our children in righteousness and with a higher appreciation and standard of living. So my question to you, to everybody who made these videos, to everybody who commented on my videos and saying, stop being the fun police. It's just fun. Why are you doing too much? Are we trying to raise kings and queens, or are we trying to raise niggas and bitches? Because we like to say it's on the parents. It's up to the way that they're raised by their parents. But to be honest, we know that there is a lack of proper parenting in the Black community. That's actual fact. So why we keep going back to that? If they were good parents, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So let's take knowledge and note of the fact that we have a generation or generations of young children out here that do not have proper guidance in the household, and in all likelihood probably have mothers and maybe even fathers in the household that are leading them into this bullshit. So do we just wash our hands from them? Because yesterday we said it took a village. Yesterday we was talking about the African proverb. Now today it's all about the parents. And then under that guise, me not growing up with my mother, my father being not really playing the full role that he should have played. If that's the case, then I would have been done. There's children out here that don't have parental guidance. There's children out here that don't have mothers and fathers. There's children out here that live in a household with dope fiends. There's children out here that are getting abused in their households. There's children out here that live in poverty that have nothing. Do they matter? And then the flip side of that is, it's not all ratchet parents and single mothers and, you know what I'm saying, thugs that have children that are having problems with their children. I get letters from parents all the time. I know people personally, good parents, good people who are working and doing everything they got to do, that ain't all out here off the hook. Good brothers and sisters that are having issues with their children because of social media, because of TV. And you say, well, your child shouldn't have an Instagram account. Your child shouldn't have a phone. Your child shouldn't watch TV. For all of you super sanctified, super righteous people that keep your children away from all levels of any type of social media in the world, good luck with that. Because I've seen too many times, particularly in the conscious pro-black community, where their children are not exposed to the broader world, and then they go out into the world and lose their minds because they haven't been prepared on how to deal with the actual world and what is going on out here. Now, if that's your take, I'm not trying to question you as a parent. If you feel that's the way to go, by all means, so be it. But don't make it seem like because people give their children access to Instagram or to social media that they're somehow doing their child an injustice. Because there's plenty of people who have social media accounts, whose children have social media accounts, who monitor their sites, who monitor their pages, and who are giving them access to what the world looks like so that they can be prepared for it and not have culture shock and be all in la-la land once they actually get out there. If your children go to school, if they have cousins and nieces and nephews and friends and whatnot, they're seeing this stuff. So the conversation always gets pivoted to, well, your child shouldn't have a social media. Like, stop. These children are on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're on Snapchat. The goal for us has to be helping them to learn how to navigate not only social media, because the same thing that's happening on social media is happening in the world. Teaching our children how to navigate these things, and when presented with drugs or when presented with sexual opportunities, that they know how to deal with it. Because just because your child ain't got Instagram or your daughter don't have Instagram don't mean that some dude at her school ain't going to be trying to get up in her skirt or when she's walking home from the park. Sex is not sacred to black people. It's not. That's why I've taken on this task of writing this book, The Science of Sex, because it's bewildering to me how when the conversation comes up, it's so minimalized. Like, oh, it's just, I was just horny. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's just something, jump offs lead to single baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to talk about abortion statistics and the way that women carry themselves and whatnot, but like all of this behavior has remnants and repercussions. So the spirituality of sex, the sacredness of sex, the bond, the intimacy between man and woman is totally lost on our community. And this for the dick, for the pussy challenge just goes to the heart of that. I'm so surprised at Erykah Badu because she talks about this in her music. And she has children. And And then we say, you know, when it's convenient, what happens in the bedroom, what happens in your bedroom is your private information. You know, it's private, don't have anything to do with us. Well, if that's the case, then why are you bringing us into your bedroom? Why are you telling us what you would do for sex? And you know what the irony of all of this is? That on a, you know, and somebody made a comment about this on my Facebook page, talking about, let me see if I can find it. She said, not to take away from your point, because it's valid for sure, but I think especially after seeing Badu's own challenge video, in certain contexts, it could be used to challenge our expectations in the extreme lengths we sometimes go to, not for our partners, but literally just for sex. That's what I thought about with almost every video I watch. Not every discussion about sexuality, especially when facilitated by adults, needs to have the intention to spread to kids. Yes, for sure, children literally run the internet world, but that shouldn't stop adults from engaging in online fun. It should force us to be mindful in how and when we censor things. Good point. As far as, you know, the extreme methods that we go to for sex, and this is why in the comment that I put on Facebook, you know, I said this is how love gets lost out of the conversation in our communities, because so much what we sing about, what we talk about, how we live, that in the club element of our culture is based around sex, and love is getting lost out of the equation. But to her point, black women, you know, get called ratchet and hood rats and hoes and all this type of stuff because, you know, for the DICK, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that, not that there's anything wrong with saying the word, but it's just a level of class and tact. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why major networks don't say these words. It's just a matter of being respectful to the audience. So I've already said it, so I'll say for the D from now on, just because, you know, it's just this thing that I have when I'm talking, especially when I'm speaking to a broader audience. I want to respect you. So much of what women do, particularly black women do, is for sex. And then they start making memes about you. They've already started making memes, making fun of Erykah Badu. They've been making fun of Erykah Badu, which I know she don't care. But now I'm seeing the memes pop up disrespecting them. So much of what women do in our daily lives is just for sex. And we end up having babies for the D. You know what I'm saying? Women go to jail for the D. Women get left alone for the D. Women lose friendships messing with their friends' man for the D. Women lose respect for the D. So then if we remix the challenge, what you telling us what you would do for the D, what would you do for respect? As a woman, as a young girl, what would you do for respect? That should be the new challenge. And I can already see online that some people are taking this challenge and turning it into something a little bit more righteous, which I applaud. I saw one for the people that's going viral. That's beautiful. But for women and for girls, what would you do for respect? Because if you're trying to get respect, this ain't the way to go about it. If you are a woman or a young woman and you put up a video talking about what you would do for the D, I guarantee you your inbox got hit with men that don't want nothing but you, but to see if you willing to do it for them. That behavior comes with a certain price. You know what I'm saying? And it's not respect. This conversation doesn't lead to respect. Oh, it's just a joke. It's not a big deal. Okay, it's a joke for Erykah Badu. She lives in an insulated world. Regina Hall she don't walk down the street. You know what I'm saying? In a public area on her own. That's not her life. Sanaya Lathan is a public person. You're not finna just catch her somewhere where any random dude could just get at her. Girls in the community are dealing with this. And then you see these young girls in this high school dance. And I saw the Instagram page of the woman or whoever she is that was basically trying to, I think her name was Super Black. I don't remember what it was, but she's on her Instagram basically talking about why You know, this is just art and it's not a big deal. These girls have on lingerie. And while they have on lingerie, they're doing very sexually suggestive dance moves. Now, people will say, well, you know, that's part of the culture. The high school dance teams do it all the time, whatever, whatever. Okay, then it's a conversation that needs to be had. Because our community and our culture is very promiscuous. Our daughters think that their merit and their value is based on how they look and their bodies. And they're giving it up. So I was appalled and disgusted to see that video. It's lingerie. You could try to spin it however you want to. Them girls would have been just as beautiful without having to get all done up like that. And then add the movements and whatnot. You understand there's 4 million pedophiles in this country? According to FBI statistics. There's 4 million pedophiles in this country. So all they got to do literally is go sit up at a high school football game if they want to get their rocks off. And this conversation about, you know, sensuality and women being able to own their sexuality, not sensuality, sexuality. Girls being able to own, women and girls being able to own their sexuality. Let's understand something. What you wear is not a representation of your sexuality. Being able to dress a certain type of way is not the purpose of your sexuality. That's not owning your sexuality by being able to go on Instagram and wear a bikini and say people, you know, women are taking back their sexuality. No, owning your sexuality means knowing the power and the purpose of your body. Knowing your sexuality means understanding that the purpose of your breast is to be able to feed and nourish a child. Yes, it's an attractive element as far as the sexual relationship with the man. That's part of it. But there's a deeper lesson in this. Your hips and your behind, all of that is fashioned in a certain way to be able to rear children. The anatomy of the woman, which is so funny because I see all these women online talking about owning your sexuality and they don't never talk about the science of the woman's body. They don't ever talk about the elements of what happens when you are taking in a man's semen and the spiritual elements of what's happening to your body and you taking his energy in and all of it. That's the science of your sexuality. Why y'all not talking about that? You're just trying to use this, like, I see all these yogis now on social media doing soft porn, which is, you know, do you, but at the same time, this is a sacred science. All of this stuff is sacred. So if you're going to express the physical aspect of it, express the spiritual aspect of it, express the mental aspect of it, express the emotional aspect of it. But you're not going to do that because you don't know it. You're just trying to get attention and trying to get likes. But that attention is not healthy because it is depriving the spiritual and the emotional and the mental element of you as a woman. Understanding and owning your sexuality is knowing how and when to say no. As a girl, as a woman, how to say no. I'm telling y'all, man, we need to, you know, I go back to this thing about balance, like the media perspective, social media perspective, like the stripper and the whole culture is dictating the culture of black women right now. That's why people came at me and said, you know, you said these hoes is winning, and I think it was the video with Boyce Watkins. And I didn't mean these hoes is winning like, you know, they the cream of the crop or anything like that. I mean the whole culture right now. People talk about when you want to get your music played, you play your music in a strip club and that's how it starts to blow. I was listening to 50 Cent yesterday on the Breakfast Club and he was talking about how Biggie Smalls groomed Lil' Kim to be for the whole culture. His words. Biggie Smalls groomed Lil' Kim for the whole culture. And now your favorite rapper is a byproduct of the whole culture, and now all the strippers in the club want to be like her. This is hip-hop culture. This is affecting and impacting black people and people all over the world. The whole culture. We got famous actresses and singers now worth millions of dollars making songs about what they would do for dick. I looked at that video and I just was like, this shit looks corny and whack. Is like this. You don't look cute to me. My own personal opinion. I know it's a lot of people that thought this was funny and it was cool. And, you know, okay, cool. I respect your opinion. Respect mine. I'm looking at these women and I'm like, damn, I really respected you. Like, I feel a different kind of way about you now. Because class goes a long way towards respect. Like, it's just, you can't buy it. You know what I'm saying? You have to earn it. You have to earn respect. You have to, you know, get yourself to a certain point where people respect you. They're not going to give you respect off top, especially as a black woman in America. You got to prove yourself everywhere you go. So I'm like, damn, y'all look stupid. Like, I didn't get it. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying it to be honest. So when I see other women, beautiful women, I see girls, beautiful girls doing this, I'm like, this is not a good look. It's not. So we like to talk about cultural appropriation, right? We get mad when the Kardashians do their hair in braids and et cetera, et cetera. Is this representation of black women righteous cultural appropriation? If white women start making these videos now and Asians and Mexicans, etc., as a spinoff to what our women are showing the world right now, out of comedy, good humor, whatever, is this cultural appropriation? Are our women representing us right? The women that we look up to. Because, you know, black people worship celebrities. It's just a fact. And I, you know, it is what it is. I don't see them as any better or any less than any of us. But it's just a fact. Black people worship celebrities. So I want to know, is this behavior that is being exhibited by black women, is this culturally appropriate? Or does cultural appropriation only come when another race comes in and tries to copy something that we do that is representative of our culture? Is this our culture as black women? People got mad at me when in my last video where I was talking about the NFL situation and I called Donald Trump a nigga. People were in the comments saying, you know, you're too smart for this. You're too intelligent to be using that language. I use the term nigga. Nigga's racially ambiguous to me. It doesn't apply to just black people. It doesn't apply to any particular race. It's about ignorance to me. It's about people who are mentally and spiritually dead. So it was a befitting term. So the question is, for those people who question me about using that language, and trust me, when I say nigga, and if I'm referring to black people, I'm talking about the people that are in our community killing our brothers, black people. I'm talking about black men snatching black girls off the street and taking them and putting them into sex trafficking. That's a nigga to me. I'm talking about all the dope that's being put in our community and has been put in our community for all of these tens of years that has destroyed lives, and all of the dysfunctional, devastating behavior that's happening in the black community that's destroying us. That's the nigga element. You can call it what you want to. You can give it another name. If I would have called Donald Trump an idiot, nobody would have said anything. But I use the word nigga because he's ignorant as all outdoors, and because he's dead to me as far as any type of spiritual, mental, and emotional elevated capacity. So he's a nigga to me. You might have a problem with that, but do you have a problem with this? If I'm wrong for expressing an opinion about somebody who's supposed to have power and who is misusing the power and destroying lives in the process, what do you have to say about this? Oh, it's just fun, huh? It's unfortunate to me that anytime and not anytime, but a lot of the things that we consider to be fun as a people always have to represent us like savages and like uncultured people. And, I always talk about the spiritual war, you know what I'm saying? And this is one of those things that if we're not careful it's just another link in the chain of things that we have to do in order to undo all of the moral and spiritual damage that has been done to us as a people. Our daughters are watching this stuff. They're trying to find their way. And it's not only on their mother and it's not only on their parents. And I'm so sick of people saying that. It's on all of us. Your behavior as women, particularly popular black women, is affecting all of the women that are behind you and that are supporting you and that are watching you. Our daughters are watching you. You have a responsibility to them. And it's not just about going and talking to a school and making a good impression on a group of girls and then going back on social media and then talking about what you're going to do for the dick. It's counterproductive. We have to reestablish a code of conduct as black women. We have to reestablish a sense of morality as black women. It don't mean you can't have fun. It don't mean you can't put on a two-piece and be on Instagram. But show our daughters that you're not popular because you got a nice body. You're not important because you got a nice body. You are important because you are a woman. Because you are the gateway for the Creator to produce life. Because you represent the feminine aspect and reality of the Creator. We living on a level of beasts. Being ruled by the reptilian mind. The same mind that we share with the animals, the birds, and you know what I'm saying? Certain animals in the lower levels of the animal kingdom. The lower levels of the animal kingdom. That's the reality that we're living in. The reptilian mind. We are low vibration people. When I watched that video with Erykah Badu, that was some low vibration shit. Because I know how it affected me. I love Erykah Badu. So anything I hear her say, anything I hear her do, I'm always going into it with a high vibration expectation. That was some low vibration shit. You can spin it any way you want to. Whether it was for fun or not, I know how it impacted me. We are low vibration people. We have a culture of death. This is why we don't care about our young people until they die. Meanwhile, they're exhibiting behavior on social media, in school, in their lives, that is very contradictory to us showing them the right way. And it doesn't matter until a police officer puts a bullet in their head. Then we want to get concerned. We have a culture of death. When I say culture of death, I'm talking about abortion. I'm talking about rape. I'm talking about girls being sexually trafficked. We do understand that our daughters are being picked up on the street and being sold around the world, right? Right here in America. So we got up in arms with the situation in Baltimore, Maryland. With the girls being missing. Come to find out it wasn't what we thought it was. But it is what we thought it is. Or it is what we thought it was. They are being snatched off the streets. It's a culture of death. The music. God bless Cardi B. I'm not mad at her for being in a situation that she's in right now. I think it's beautiful that she went from being a stripper to being the number one, having the number one rap record in the world. But she represents a culture of death. Look at the lyrics to the song. I didn't even know. I hadn't even heard the song, and I was watching Insecure, and the song came on at the end of the, when the credits start rolling, and I was like, who is this? Bitch, 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 bitch. What is this? Then come to find out later that this was the song it was. And I ain't knocking her. I know that she's not saying anything that the other male rappers ain't saying. I'm happy for her success. I wish her the best. But it's a culture of death. Hopefully, as she grows as an artist and as she grows in her maturity, she will be able to reflect light instead of just darkness. It is what it is. So I wanted to do this video for the young girls. Because like I said, our daughters are following some whack-ass females on social media. They think that the whole conversation about slut shaming and about, you know, a woman being able to embrace her sexuality, they think all of this stuff is based on how you look. It's a culture of materialism and vanity and greed and morality and spirituality and appreciation of what really makes a woman, which ain't got nothing to do with how she looks. Her physical is the physical manifestation of what is happening and what she has been blessed with by the Creator inside of her. There's so much power in being a woman. But we've been degraded and misunderstood for thousands of years. And now look at what we've produced. We got to change the dialogue for our daughters, man. I know brothers and sisters that are good people that's having issues with their daughters because the gravitational pull of this world is strong. We got to speak to them. We got to help them. It's not just on them, especially when they have people like doing what we see being done and it's having an impact on them. And it should have an impact on them. Black women are beautiful. You are powerful beyond anything you can imagine. So whatever you do is going to have an effect on the world. Especially if you're a celebrity. That's a responsibility. That's a heavy responsibility. So if you want to have a private conversation on social media where our children don't have access to it, let's start an Instagram page. Let's start a Facebook page where we can try to navigate who has access to this stuff. But this right here is not cool. It's not cool in any way, shape, or form. I have a 14-year-old son. He's going to run into these girls. So it's not just about you and what you do in your household. It affects all of us. The way you conduct yourself and carry yourself affects other women. If brothers is only used to dealing with hoes and then they run up on a real woman, he don't know how to act. So for the young girls and the young women and the women who are trying to find themselves, man, that ain't it. Go against the grain. Don't try to be like these women. Don't try to be like everybody else. Watch what everybody else is doing. That is what everybody else is doing. Go in the other direction. Shout out to all of the women who use their social media pages without having to exploit themselves. Who are able to show their beauty without having to compromise themselves. How you gonna put up a video for the dick challenge video or put up a picture of yourself spread eagle on your Instagram page and then turn around and put up a picture of your children and talk about how much you love them? You look stupid. And it's disrespectful to your children because you're not respecting yourself. You think our daughters don't see that? So now they're confused between, okay, this is what motherhood is and this is what womanhood is. We got to set the bar higher, man. So to all of the young girls, and I mean no disrespect from anybody that I may have mentioned in this video or whatever, but like it's just got to be said. And if I got to be the one to say it to bring balance to the equation, so be it. I'm going to catch flack for this. People going to talk shit. People going to say I'm trying to be the fun police. I'm trying to balance this thing out. We are losing our daughters. We're losing them. So if I got to catch heat or flack for that, then so be it. Be mindful of what you pay attention to. Be mindful of what you give your energy to. And be mindful of how you spend your time. Because social media is, man, it's a cesspool. And like I said before, we are a low vibration people. It don't mean all of us are low vibration. It means the culture. I'm so sick of seeing people saying I'm doing it for the culture. No, you're doing it for the whole culture. You ain't doing that for me. www.zazaali.com is my website. All of my social media pages are there. You can go there, support my books. If you go on my the mobile page of my website, I've been having some issues with it. They're working on it. Technical support is working on it to get it fixed because I had some changes made on my website and it didn't transfer properly on my mobile site. So if you have any issues on the mobile site, just go to the main website. The mobile site is working, but it's just not the same as the website is because it's getting fixed. So go, show some love, show some support if you appreciate this message. I love y'all. I appreciate all my brothers and sisters, even when we get off our square, but we got to set the bar higher. I'll see y'all in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend. Peace.